as usual, let's start with the big video games of
Yeah.
2002. How about the 1-2 punch of Metroid Prime and Metroid Fusion, released on the same day?
Yeah, same day. That's
November
insane.
17th. Really? They call it National Troid Day. I don't think that's
Get
true.
Metroids?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you get Troided on Troid
When I went to
Day?
the store that didn't have them, I just went Troid Rage.
It had been 8 years since the last Metroid game, which was Super Metroid.
Yeah, insane. And it was one of those things where we all wanted a 2D game, and we did get that in Fusion, which was this awesome GBA original 2D Metroid game that had more of a story than people thought it would have. It had like characters and dialogue and stuff. But yeah, I think Prime was the big surprise that year because Nintendo had proven that they could make Mario work in 3D and Zelda work in 3D, but they hadn't proven how you make this series work in 3D. And what it delivered was one of the most immersive first-person games ever.
Yeah. Also, I thought at the time the most beautiful console game I'd ever seen.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
And you're not alone in thinking that. Just the gorgeous world that you're stranded on, and the subtle effects like the sort of the fog that'll envelop your visor, and the lights, the little flashes where you see Samus's face, and then exploring this really sad, decrepit planet. And there is action, there are puzzles, but a lot of it is just sort of soaking in the atmosphere and looking up for the first time when it's raining and having the raindrops fall on your visor. It was this really gorgeous, powerful experience that showcased like, oh man, I mean, this is, again, easy to forget, but like back in the day, it's like, oh yeah, Nintendo and Nintendo hardware could push visuals and art direction to a level that no one else could match.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I miss those days when Nintendo was at the most technologically advanced video game company.
Yeah, because they still have the art direction down. It's just they don't quite have the power that the other boxes have.
Can't get those peas.
They can't. There's not enough peas in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was really.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it was just interesting how they took, sort of what Super Metroid did, and then even like what Castlevania Symphony of the Night did in creating this genre that was primarily 2D, and how they adapted it into this first-person 3D world with the puzzles and with vantage points where you're like, well, I'm going to be able to get there at a certain point, but I don't have the ability yet. And smart moves like pulling the camera out to third person when you turn into the morph ball and going through these cool tracks. Just a really, really incredible. Risky move for them that's where they take one of their tentpole franchises, and it totally paid off, obviously.
Also, they took, not only did they take a 2D game and put it in 3D, but they put it in first person.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you don't even see your character.
Yeah,
for most of the
yeah.
game.
And obviously a little later on, we got the third-person one in Other M, but we try not to talk about that one. Yeah. Wasn't a great game. Yeah. And then same thing with
moments.
It had its moments. And then same thing with Fusion. We all bemoan the lack of, any sort of Metroid proper game. Like we saw that we're getting that sort of arena shooter thing at E3.
yeah.
And no,
Blast
I don't
ball
want that.
or
I don't want
whatever.
blast ball.
You don't want that.
No one asked
Blast
for
ball
this.
out of here.
No. It's soccer.
yeah.
Just call it what it is.
Yeah, to think, I don't know if the series has ever had two games launch on the same day that are both just equally amazing. Like we'll get two Pokemon games launched on the same day, but they're sort of the same game.
Like,
Whereas
You
with
bite your tongue.
I'm sorry.
A console and a handheld version launched on the same day, and both are excellent.
Yeah, like that's unprecedented before and after. I don't know if that's how precedents work.
Let's just call it that it is. And then
yeah, and move on. But yeah, really, I had certain people in this office not only favorite Metroid game, but favorite
Game at all, yeah.
Yeah, I know Sam Claiborne and Per Schneider are both massive fans of it.
Yeah.
They're not here though.
So, no.
They
We'll just
passed.
speak for them.
Just imagine
These are your favorite
their
games.
faces on our head.
Yeah,
on our
just do
bodies.
that.
Well,
Yeah.
Metroid Prime got a 9.5 on IGN, and it has a 97 on Metacritic.
That's not a bad game.
No.
right there.
We underrated it.
yeah.
Apparently.
Craig Harris.
So it is the highest rated Metroid game, and obviously one of the highest rated games of all time.
Yeah.
It's really, really
It's
good.
no Infinity Blade 2.
Nope.
I got a 10.
Well, now I'm gonna have to see the games you can go back through it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. So I guess I get my 2D Metroids mixed up. Metroid Zero came after Fusion and was
A sort of a remake of 2.
with new stuff in it.
With new
'cause
stuff
that was
in
not
it.
the Zero.
Yeah. Or a remake of the original, excuse
Yeah.
me. But yeah, it was weird because we got those two games relatively close together, the two traditional 2D Metroid games for the handheld, and Fusion was an entirely new thing, whereas Zero Mission, yes, it was a remake, but it was very much like they added so much to it to where it was kind of ostensibly a new game. Fusion had an interesting, this like Dark Samus sort of imposter that was running around the space station. And again, really good puzzles. Wasn't quite up to the level of Super Metroid, in my opinion, but honestly, few games are.
Yeah.
But yeah, an incredible, really cool. I mean, for fans of that, like, I don't know what other series could actually do that. Like, maybe if there was a Mario 3DS and Wii U game that released on the same day,
Sure.
or Zelda, but like, that's probably never going to happen on a Sony console.
I mean,
like,
Assassin's Creed tried, but it just didn't.
yeah, tried with Rogue and with and with Liberation 3 and then Rogue.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
yeah,
But not to the same level of
No,
success.
Oh God, no! Oh no! Absolutely not.